What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is The Passage, Season 1, Episode 9 and 10, Season Finale. All right, I really like this episode. It was good. We got everything we wanted. I got all the action I was looking for, and things are on and popping and rolling, but the way it ended kind of makes me a little worried about having a Season 2. I don't know if that's going to happen for us. I'm not exactly sure. They haven't renewed it yet, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to put this video together. It's going to be a long video, so go ahead and get your snacks and all of that together right now. We start off this episode with Fanning. We're in a flashback, and he's just gotten bitten. They're still in Bolivia or whatever they was at, where they discovered this disease at, and basically the natives are running around. The locals are like, kill him because he going to eat everybody, bitch. Kill him now. And Fanning is sitting in there, and he's telling Jonas that he wants him to shoot him. And so he like, just shoot me now, just get it over with now. And Jonas is like, no, we're going to get you to safety. We're going to, find out what's wrong. Here go Jonas, still trying to save everybody's life, right? He got this savior complex or whatever. So he's telling Fanning that he's going to get him on the plane. They're going to get him to safety, while Fanning is basically telling him, I'm changing, and something inside of me is changing, and, it's not going to be good. I'm about to turn into some evil. If you didn't notice, at the beginning of the episode, Amy is narrating this episode versus the other episodes where no one was narrating. Nobody was narrating, so we didn't know what was going on, but now Amy is narrating, so this should tell you something, should set the tone for the rest of the episode. Back in the present, we start off where we left off, and Amy is standing there in the hallway with Gilliam. Brad has just rescued Gilliam. He got Amy, and Gilliam is like, she got it. She one of them. We don't need to take her with us. She's infected. And Brad is like, do you want to suck my blood? Deep down inside, is that what you want to do? And she's like, no, that's not what I want to do. Not at all. So he was like, you good. Come on, let's go. Clark is upstairs with everybody else. He's trying to figure out how to get into the security system. So he got a guy working on it, and the guy's like, look, everything is all jacked up. Lila, Sykes, Gilliam, Amy, Brad, they're all there. And basically they're running down to Sykes, whatever, what's going on. Basically that Amy got through the turn. She made it through just fine. She's okay, but all the virals are out of their cage. If you remember, Dr. Sykes is locked into the lab. They're all down there with her. They're trying to get her out too. Jonas is now upstairs, and Brad is communicating with him, telling him what's going on. And he's basically saying that all the virals are out of their cages. They're all awake. And he said that the sedative should have kept them asleep, but they realized that they had woken up because of Amy. Then Brad tells Jonas that she made it out of the turn, and Jonas puts together that Fanning needed a hive. He needed 12 virals in order to be able to wake up and get out of that place or whatever. So they needed 12 of them in order for them to all wake up. I think that was the thing. She had to like be one of them or whatever. Jonas is telling Clark that they need to basically go into the Elizabeth protocol. Basically there's bombs and they're gonna blow up everybody down there, and Clark is like, hell no, we're not gonna blow up because I got people down there. I'm not about to blow no damn body up. Hell wrong with you. We can find another way to do this. So Amy walks away from the group, and she has a vision, and Fanning comes to her, and he's telling her that she needs to pay attention to everything they're talking about because it's going to affect her as well as everybody else. Fanning basically tells Amy that it's time for her to do her job and let them out. And she's like, I'm not part of your family. He's like, when I say family, I mean it because my blood is running through your veins. So if I die, you die, basically. And she's like, well, maybe, maybe not. I'm not like you. Oh, really? We're going to see, girl. We're going to see. And your family needs you to let them out right now. And child, he's screaming and hollering at her. Fanning tells her that they're stuck with each other because they are family. Then we see Lacey getting out of the truck that she was riding in. Remember, she hitched a ride on the truck. So she gets out of the truck, and we see it's 18 miles for her to walk all the way down to the Project Noah. Child, I was like, damn, 18 miles? Like, y'all could have dropped her off no closer than 18 miles? But okay, we're going to trust in the Lord. Lacey out here quoting scriptures and giving good words to the people, okay? So we're going to roll with Lacey. Clark is talking to his security person and Sykes at the same time. The security person is like, look, we're going to reboot the whole system. And he calls Sykes, and, they on the phone chit-chatting, just trying to make it through. And he tells her something about they going to pry out the glass or something. She says there's no time for her to pry out no damn glass. She ain't got time for that. Clark tells them to hold their position, and then all the sounds stop from the virus. You can't hear him scratching at the door, beating at the door like they was downstairs. And so everybody's scared. Everybody like, what's going on? Where are the animals? Where are the animals, child? Where are the people? Where are the virus? Where they went? And then we see Clark looking at the computer scanner, and you can see that all the virals have gotten into the air ducts and they're coming straight for them. Brad gets everybody onto the elevator because they're trying to get the elevator to work, and he puts everybody on there, and Sykes tells them all to leave. She gonna stay or whatever. So they come out, they shooting all the damn virals like, you know, like it's a video game, bitch. They blasting on niggas, just, you know, shooting everybody. They get everybody on the elevator, and Sykes tells them to go. She's going to stay, and Brad decides to let them all go up on the elevator, and he decides to stay. So he stays down there to try to help get Sykes out and bring her up. Because, child, as they getting on the elevator, we see that Lila has gotten bitten. So she infected too, child. It's a whole mess. I said, not Lila. Not Dr. Lila. We like Lila. Oh, and another thing, when they was getting out of there, Amy sees Anthony eating the shit out of somebody. I mean, he was eating his ass like he was Thanksgiving dinner. You can tell that she's clearly affected by this. Like, she started, like, break out because she had never seen, like, the full creatures that they become. And I'm sure this probably scared the hell out of poor little girl. Clark and Gilliam and all of them are trying to figure out what they're going to do with Lila now that she's bitten. And, you know, Gilliam is like, shoot her. She infected, bitch. You got it too. Shoot her. Shoot her. Shoot everybody. Kill everybody. And Clark took me out when he said, I will snatch that mustache off your goddamn face if you don't chill out, okay? Chill out and get yourself to damn together. Lila is like, she know what come next. You know, she know what's going to happen. And Brad is, like I said, he's downstairs with Sykes because now he needs to get the antiviral so he can get it to her so she can be better. Amy is with Jonas, and he's just evaluating her, and she's telling him about how Fanning, you know, wanted her to go through this tunnel to the other side, but she decided to turn around and go the other way, and Jonas is happy. And she's like, well, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, but I do know that Fanning took his best shot at you, and you made it through with perfect health. Clark is on the phone with Sykes trying to let her know that they need the antiviral because Lila has been bitten, so they're trying to get to her. And so she's asking him just to make small talk. She don't want to talk about anything but what's going on because he tells her that, you know what, they cracked the bird flu. The whole reason they was trying to get this little girl to make this flu virus, antiviral or whatever, is now they got all these creatures and they end up cracking whatever the bird flu was in the other country anyway. So they have a little giggle about that. And then the security guy comes up with a way for her to break into the security panel. So she hot wires the security panel some type of way, and the airlock doors, they do open. But guess what's on the other side of them bitches? Shauna jumped her big head ass down from the ceiling. I said, child, Shauna need to go lay down somewhere and go to sleep, bitch. Some kind of way, Clark figures out that this Shauna that's up there, and he knows it's her. And basically, Shauna stops and she talks to the doctor about, why were you nice to me? You know, was I different from the other people? And, you know, Sykes is like, bitch, why are you asking me this now, girl? Really? Like, right now, sis? Yes, you were different. You know, you had personality. You was funny. In a different life, we could have been friends with each other. You know, so, and the other people scared me. They had me terrified. They was the worst people. And I don't think you a psycho murderer, you know, psychopath killer. And I don't think you're that even now to this day. And Shauna's like, listen, you know, I was down for this whole, like, I'ma live forever shit, but bitch, I ain't trying to be out here eating up babies and kids and little dogs and people grandma. It's like, I'm not be out here doing all of that. And Fanning want us to do that. And child, I'm just not about to do it. I can't. And so as Sykes is saying, well, maybe there's another way, Brad comes in, he shoots Shauna. And so, you know, that whole idea of compromise is just thrown out the window, child. Shauna scurries off. He tries to catch her, but he don't get to her. And he grabs the doctor and they run to try to make it out of there. They're trying to get to the elevator, and Clark tells them, don't go to the elevator. You need to find somewhere to hide. And so Sykes is like, well, I got somewhere to hide, but you ain't gonna like it. And so they end up going to hide in Fanning's cell. And so now you have all the virals are standing outside the cell looking at them inside the cell, knowing they can't get in there. While Clark is still trying to figure out a solution to all of this, Jonas is pulling up the Elizabeth protocol, as in the bombs that's down there in the basement to blow everything up, like when shit go left or whatever. And then we see Amy going into another vision with Fanning. This is where Fanning tells her that, you know, she needs to pay attention to what's going on. They have a contingency plan that Jonas is going to blow everybody up, and if he dies, she's going to die too. And, you know, she like, well, maybe I might die, maybe I'm not, because we don't really know that for sure because she is different from all the virus. So it could be if he dies that she won't die. You know, it just depends. But it's like kind of like one of them things where we don't want to test the theory, bitch, because you could die. We don't know if she would necessarily die, but we just working off of that theory. That's why she's like, well, I might die, I might not, because basically I'm different from y'all. I still feel like myself. The fuck? He's basically like, well, you know, the agent saved you. You know, the agent did this for you, that for you. You don't want to save the agent. So now he's trying to play on her sympathy or whatever. to get her to stop them from doing the Elizabeth protocol and blowing everybody's ass up. As she goes back to the present, you know, they still arguing about what they gonna do and how they gonna do it. And she goes into another vision. This time she's at her house and Anthony shows up. And Anthony like, you know, what's going on? You know, she can't hide there forever. And he says that she needs to make the choice. It's a hard choice. And she was like, but I don't want to die. Or she said something about if he die, I die. Or some kind of way, you know, they worked it out to where you got to make this hard decision, which is basically to kill yourself. So when she gets up, she walks over to the computer while they still arguing about what's going on. And she presses the button to lock into the system that they going to blow shit up. Okay. And so they all look at her like, oh shit, she just basically killed herself. So she had to make this hard choice. It's so sad to me, like during this whole, you know, how this whole thing played out with so many burdens being put on this little girl's shoulders. Like, it's just like, damn, you know, black women, we be trying to listen. We got the whole burdens of saving the world and everything, child. Listen, it's a lot for this little girl. Brad and Clark, you know, they relate this to each other. And Brad is like, oh, shit, you know, she gonna die. You know, what we gonna do? He was like, no, she pushed the button. So he kind of like comes to the realization like, oh, shit, she just killed herself. She killed me too, but she killed herself. And then at the last minute, Clark is like, listen, we found the exit. So they start moving towards the exit. They start rolling. It's like a panel in the wall right outside, you know, the door. And so he gets in and he climbing in and he telling her to get in, Sykes that is. And she looks back and she tells him, you know, you go ahead. And so he goes to climb up the shaft after he tried to get her to come. But she's like, it's not enough time. I'm going to hold them off. So she going to sacrifice herself. And her and Clark talk. And, you know, he's running towards this, like, you know, vent to let Brad out, to let them out on the other side. But she's like, I love you. And he said he loved her too. But I don't believe it for one thing. Like, y'all saying y'all love each other, but there is nothing this whole season that has showed us that y'all love each other. I was just a little bit like, I don't know if y'all probably should have left that out, because there's nothing about us that show love between those two characters. But maybe that's just what you say when somebody finna blow up, bitch. I don't know. He make it out in the nick of time and everything blow up, and we know Dr. Sykes is not gone. You know, Nicole is gone to the hereafter. But we did see a body, so you never know. She might pop up next season or another season. But for right now, for all, you know, purposes, she's gone to glory. Okay, goodbye, Dr. Sykes. Bye, Nicole. Bye, baby. Okay, we hope you were up there with the Heavenly Father. You missed all this flesh-eating foolishness. Okay, as they're running back, Clark takes a moment to mourn Nicole and, you know, remember that, oh, my bitch just died. He was like, oh yeah, she did. Well, you know, go on by my business. They give the antiviral to Lila, and she's going to be okay. Okay, so, like, everybody who gets this antiviral, I want y'all to know this, if you haven't read the books, that they have longer life. They age slower, and they have cellular repair. So Lila might not be she's not a viral, but she has some type of, you know, she's a super person, okay? Whatever that means. She sits up in the room when her and Brad is talking, and she's like, yeah, you know, Amy took good care of me this whole time. And at the same time, Gilliam is with Clark, and they're trying to get confirmation about all the virals being dead down there in for, you know, BD, wherever that is in the basement. And Clark gets confirmation that Amy is still alive. And Amy is like, bitch, I can feel them. They alive, bitch, and they're here, and they coming for us. When Clark was calling to get confirmation about the virus being dead, he was not getting anything back. So the camera slowly pans across the room, and we see that all the officers are dead, child. The virus done got out. Baby, they done killed every goddamn body, and them bitches is out, okay? They out here in these streets eating people left and right. Jonas looking out the window, and who do he see out there in the yard but Fanning? And Fanning jumped to him in his head, and he like, bitch, look, I told you this shit was gonna happen, bro. Like, we was getting out. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna win. Send me the girl, and you know, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna be out of your hair. I'm gonna be out your hair forever. Go on, send me the little girl. You know what's happening. You know what's up. Clark and Brad and all them are like assessing the situation and how many men they got left and how many virals are out here. They got like 10 men left, and you know, they trying to figure out how they gonna combat this. They're trying to get Amy out of the building, right? So Jonas gives Brad the last dose of the antiviral and says, this is the last dose. You need to get this to the CDC. But this is, Amy is priority. She needs to be top priority at all times, because one day Amy will be strong enough to fight the virals or fight Fanning or whatever. So they need to keep her as top priority. And Brad is like, cool, I got you. You know what I'm saying? That's my daughter. They go outside and they start fighting the virals. You know, they video game blasting on niggas, fighting, you know, kickboxing, punching, shooting, all this type of shit, shooting the zombies in the head. And so they get Amy out of there and she runs across the yard. They get her into the vehicle. But at the while they're doing this, Clark is fighting, and one of the virals, I mean, that viral must have played in the damn NFL because he knocked the hell out of Clark. Clark knocked up against a tree. The fuck around and broke his whole back, baby. And he laying on the ground, just his life is just pouring out of him. I said, damn, Clark, you had to go out like that, bro? Damn. As Amy and Brad and them are running to try to get to wherever they going before they make it to the car. Yeah, before they make it, they just running away. Amy gets separated from the group and she gets pushed up against a tree by Fanning. So he starts choking the shit out of Amy. He trying to kill her. And then Amy's eyes change into the different color and she goes into the future. We're like years and years and years, decades into the future, right? And we can see that Fanning is dying. He's starving. And Amy is cutting her hand. She like, I'm here, Fanning. And she cuts his hand and she feeds him her blood. So she's saving his life. We don't know why, but she's saving his life. And he sees the vision too. And so when he sees that vision, he immediately gets scared and he runs away. He don't kill her. And she ends up back with Brad. And, you know, they like, what happened? She like, I don't know what happened. You know, let's just go. So they run to the street and all of a sudden Lacey pulls up in the damn truck. I said, well, where she got the truck from, child? But Lacey pulled up in the truck and she like, hop in. You know, now we all got our jobs. We all know what we're going to do. We're going to go forth, you know, in the name of the Lord. Okay, so here's the vehicle. You hop in, baby. Where you going to go? I don't know where I'm going to go. We're going to let the Lord lead us. We're going to trust in the Lord and his holy word. All right, she quotes some scripture. She got the fuck up out of there. And they left in the car. So we back to Clark and he laying down and guess who appears? Shauna. He like, well, I knew you was going to show up eventually. And so she basically takes him to like this vision where they laying on a car. She's telling him that everybody get one person. She ain't with all this eating motherfuckers up shit. So, you know, she going back home to Las Vegas. And maybe he can help keep her in check. And, you know, he would still be himself, but they would just be connected. But he have to want it for her to do it. She not going to do it unless he want it. And so they come back to reality. And she looking at him, you know, with the yuck face. And he like, I don't know, bitch. I don't know. You know, we don't know if he took the deal or not. Oh, she also tells him that Nicole died in the blast and that it was very quick. And then they show Anthony eating the shit out of somebody. I mean, he was eating his ass. I said, damn, Anthony hungry. That nigga hungry. He was eating the shit out of somebody, and he look up, just like I said last week, y'all. He eating motherfuckers, but he feeling guilty about it. He felt a little guilty. You could see it in his evil eye. Okay, his viral eye that he don't want to be eating people, but that's just how he set up now. You know, he got to eat niggas. Amy and Lila and Brad all drive off into the sunset. Amy says in the end it was quick. You know, after when Project No, when the virus got out or whatever, one world died and another one was born. I said, oh shit. So the first episode was really good. I thought it was great. Yeah, it led us right on into the last episode. I was glad the virus finally got out and we got to see some action. All right, y'all, so we're back again. This is episode 10 of The Passage season. We start this last episode off. We see Lacey walking through the field and walking through the house of Project Noah, and she's shooting everybody that's on the ground and kind of, you know, sending them off to heaven, okay, hopefully. And I'm just trying to double check to make sure they're dead, and she comes upon Jonas, who is sitting there with the gun, ready to shoot himself. Okay, and she like, what do you got the gun for? He was like, I was gonna kill myself. And she starts quoting a scripture from the Bible, which basically says, you know, you already committed your sin, but now it's time for your redemption. And, you know, death is for the innocent. Like, bitch, you out here committing all kind of sins. You the one who started this shit. Okay, so you the one who gonna fix it. So get your ass up and come with me. But she said it like in a holy way. 30 days later, we see that Brad and Amy and Lila are in Oregon. They're in the, you know, corner of Oregon somewhere. And Brad and Amy is out there fishing and hunting and doing all type of stuff. And Amy says this is her favorite time right before, you know, they were a family. This is the time before everything started really happening. They catch a trout and they go inside. And, you know, he's so happy that her appetite is coming back. And she's like, yeah, you know, me too. But we can see in the napkin that she's not really eating that trout that they fixed. In the kitchen, we can see that she didn't eat any of it. So she still have the hunger for the blood like the other virals. But she's kind of suppressing it. And you can tell maybe she kind of waning a bit because of it. because she says she's tired and they say they want to go to the store to get some supplies. So Brad and Lila head into town to go get supplies. And I was kind of worried, like, y'all just leaving Amy alone by herself. But I guess she can protect herself to a certain extent. But they go into town to get supplies. And as Brad gets out the car to go to the store across the street, Lila gets out to get some water or something, gas or water. I couldn't tell what she was getting. But she sees a viral on the roof. A body falls down and hits her car. And then she sees a viral on the roof. But the viral, first of all, it's daytime. They're not supposed to be out in the daytime. Second of all, the viral didn't seem violent, like the viral did not go to attack her, or they did not see her as food. More than likely, that's because she has the antiviral inside of her body. But because the viral did go to attack Brad. So I think it's something about that antiviral that turns off those virals and make them not attack you. Or maybe when they do attack you, or if they attack you, they will be, you know, they will have the antiviral in their system too, will cause them change back to a human. I'm not exactly sure, but the viral did not want to attack her, and she thought that was particular. So the viral goes to attack Brad, and Brad kills the viral in the middle of the street, and the people from the store next door, the boy and his mama, they come out, and he was like, oh shit, you know, they're not supposed to be out in the daytime, like, why won't they follow the rules? Oh, and on the way to town, they do see their neighbor George, Bob, I think it was Bob, and Bob said he needs some bullets, you know, that's all he need. And they was checking on, like, the CDC, because they thinking that the CDC is gonna send a, you know, a helicopter with them for the antiviral and all of this. And he says no reports of no planes going on. And as they're driving into the city, they do hear that, you know, Houston is the 4th largest city that's been taken. And it's the 4th city that's been taken by the virus. So the virals are taking over, you know, wherever. And after all of this stuff happens with the viral, they go inside the store and they see that the young man has, you know, a hard copy of, like, the 10 hot spots where these virals are going to kill people. And Brad asks about Las Vegas because he knows that Clark is in Las Vegas. And they were like, no, Las Vegas is not, you know, a hot spot. Where they are, the Pacific Northwest is not a hot spot. So when they leaving, Brad puts together that all the virals went home, because remember, he is the one who got them. So he know where they all came from. So he was like, they basically just all went home and started eating people, okay? So except for Clark and Shauna, which we'll talk about in a second. Clark is alive. He out here looking real pale by the face though, okay? And he's in some type of, like, local level facility in Las Vegas, in Nevada. And you can tell it's in a high school gym, and it comes on with they arguing with his mom. Her daughter is just like regular sick, like she have a cold, you know, throat, you know, something wrong with her throat or something, like sore throat. But they're arguing back and forth for her because, you know, she look infected, and she's like, she's not infected, she's just sick, and like they was about to take her away. And so he steps in and he fixes that issue with that parent, and we can see he's still doing the same thing he was doing before. Another officer comes to him about an inmate that is there. Basically, this guy's a rapist. He's like all the bad things, right? And so he's like, listen, I'm trying to get somebody to get him, but, you know, nobody answering the phone over here. They probably got ate up, bitch. They probably eating. Okay, they probably got ate. They're not coming to pick him up. And he's like, oh, I'll bring him, you know. Don't worry about it. He needs to be there tonight. He need to get out of here. Then we see Jonas and Lacey at the Global Health Federation outpost in Virginia. That's a mouthful. So basically, the guy there is like, listen, everybody think your ass need to be in jail because of all the bullshit you done created, okay? You should be rotting in a damn jail somewhere. But Lacey is like, listen, he started the issue. He's the reason why we here. So he needs to help fix the problem. So the guy basically starts to question him about, you know, how long you think you're going to take you to make the antiviral? Can you do it? And he was like, well, I need a sample from a viral. Okay, we got that. Okay, well, what else do you need? I need this, that. I don't know how long it's going to take. He was like, bitch, let me tell you something. We ain't got time for you to be trying to figure out how long. Bitch, we need a cure a motherfucking sap, bitch. We don't care. We need you to make this damn cure. Talking about something you don't know, bitch. Like, you got a whole bunch of time. The countries are having meetings and they're not calling us, bitch. You're going to blow us the fuck up is basically what he's trying to say, bitch. So you need to come up with a cure ASAP. Ain't nobody got time to wait for you all that damn listen. Get on it, Jonas. You're doing too much. So Jonas calls Clark, and Clark is happy to hear from him. He riding in a vehicle, and he says, have you heard from Brad? He like, no, I haven't heard from Brad. He like, well, you think him and Amy made it? No, I don't play them type of games. I don't know. You know, I don't know if they made it. We not finna speculate. And Jonas is like, why it would just be easier for me to make the antiviral if I had the original, you know, antiviral. Jonas is like, well, I see you helping that keep, you know, Nevada quiet. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing the best I can. You know, I'm trying to handle business over here and keep people alive. You know, I'm doing what I can do. And he's like, are you okay? And he like, nah, nigga, I'm not okay. And I'm gonna need for you to come up with a solution to this shit, okay? Click. He pulls up to a bar, and lo and behold, Shauna comes out this abandoned bar, and old boy that he was gonna transport is in a trunk, and Shauna goes to eating him, and we can see Shauna got the sad face and the bloody mouth when he leave, because she want him to see her as more than a monster, but that's what she is, baby. You is the monster, you eat people. And Clark just drive off. He look like he disgusted with this whole situation, okay? He just drives away. Brad and Lila rolling around in the bed the next morning getting it on. I ain't mad at you. Get you some, bitch, because the world is finna end. You ain't about to get none for a long-ass time, okay? So her and Brad rolling around in the bed, and when they done, she tells Brad that she has been thinking. She has a friend that told her that they had some Doctors Without Borders people that was coming, you know, and she thinks she want to travel with them to go to the CDC because she don't think the CDC is coming. They would have came by now. It had been over a month. And so he don't want her to go, obviously, but she's like, listen, I need to go. You got to let me go. You know, our time here has been wonderful together, but, you know, maybe my blood can help these people if we're trying to get to the CDC. Brad and Amy, they would have a tearful goodbye for her. And this is probably the only time in the episode I actually cried, because I felt so bad for Amy because she had just, you know, found a new family in Brad and Lila. And, you know, Lila was like her second mother, and she already lost one mother. So, like, I cried on that part. It was sad. I ain't gonna lie. I felt bad for Amy, you know. So, Amy tells her goodbye. Brad kisses her and tells her goodbye. And she goes off. She off to Doctors Without Borders. Who knows if she ever will make it there? You know, I don't know, but like I said, she's a super person. She has the antiviral in her body, so she will age a whole lot slower. She will have cellular repair. She's not your average human person anymore. So once you have the virus in you, you are changed forever, whether you come back to being a human or you become a, you know, a blood-sucking monster. Then we see Jonas getting a sample from a viral, and Fanning comes to him. And basically it's just like goading him about finding a cure. You know, you climbing up this mountain, I'm going to be back at the top to knock the boulder back down. And, you know, everything you do, this is not going to work. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to stop the terror I done unleashed on the world. And, you know, then he goes into this trope about blaming him about Elizabeth. And I was with Elizabeth when she died. I could feel her. And you know, she blamed you for everything. And Jonas is like, bitch, I don't have time for you, okay? I have work to do. I'm not worried about dying. I'm not worried about none of that shit happening to me. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is, bitch. I done created this whole thing, and now I'm about to try to fix it. I'm just going, I ain't going out without saying I ain't trying to fix it. So get up out of here. I got shit to do. We see Amy, Brad out in the woods. They practicing their bow and arrow skills, and Amy is getting frustrated, and Brad, you know, just normal frustration. And Brad just finally tells her, listen, I'm trying to prepare you for, you know, what's going to be here. I don't know what you got to do. I don't know what the job is. I have no idea, but I'm just trying to make sure you ready, because I just want you to be okay. And so that seems to help Amy calm down a little bit. She's like, well, I love you too. And she goes to shoot the bow and arrow, and she hits the target, because we all know Amy is a bad bitch. Later on, we see Brad braiding her hair. I said, yes, baby, you better braid your little daughter hair, honey. Come on, daughter. Let me braid your hair, baby. So he's sitting down and braiding her hair, and he's asking her, you know, they going pop quiz, and she tells him that she saw the future. And when when Fanning grabbed her by the neck, she saw the future, and he did too. And she saved his life, and she don't know why. And he asked her, is she scared of becoming like him? And she says, yes, you know, she's scared. And so he said, when he's scared, he comes up with facts. You know, the fact is she's a brave person. The fact is this. The fact is that she got a good heart, X, Y, and Z. He said he's been training her so that she feels prepared for what comes next. And so she stands up, and she got these cute two little braids in her hair, and she was like, you know, how do I look? And he's like, you look like a badass. And I was like, yes, bitch, you better do it, little girl, okay? You gonna save the world, little girl. Clark is in the car. He bringing Shauna some more food, but she don't come out the bar. So he go up in there, and, you know, they get into one of their little arguments. She tired. She don't like this arrangement no more. You know, she saved his life. They all connected forever. And he like, listen, just because you saved my life don't mean you own me. And, you know, maybe you should have talked to Fanning about that shit, you know, then get all the details, bitch, before you out here saving people's life. And she was like, well, he ain't tell me that you was gonna be able to eat food and, you know, go out in the daytime. So apparently they just like a regular, I don't know if he have a hunger or he just gonna stay alive. He gonna be dead, but he'll be alive forever. And like he eat food, so he don't eat people, and he not allergic to the sun. But how is that? So I guess you're one person, they could just be with you and they could just stay who they are or whatever, which is weird to me and kind of backwards as fuck, but you know, whatever. And kind of like weird as far as storyline. But okay, Shauna, we gonna roll with you. She said he's still trying to act like he too good. You know, he got goody two shoes. He out here saving the world, and she just somebody who screwed up his life. But really, she was a human before they met. And so, you know, this hit Clark a little bit close to home. And he like, damn, I ain't gonna lie, you right. You was a human, bitch, you was. So she tells him she gonna eat old dude this time, but after that, she gonna feed herself. We see Angel conjure up Fanning this time. She wants to talk to him, and she asks him basically how many people have he killed, and he said, I've killed about 1,000 people. You know, I went kind of crazy in Nebraska. You know, bitch was, you know, they was finger licking good. She tells him that she's not like him, and that she would never kill anybody. And he tells her, okay, girl, we're going to find out when somebody is threatened. And so then he brings up Bob. Child, Bob just appeared up in the living room, and he did like this here and was like, okay, Bob's infected. Now let's see how this going to play out. All right, girl. She wakes up, and she looks out of her window, and she see Fanning standing outside. I was like, this has got to be terrible when you can't get rid of this man. He see everything you do. He see your whole life. Like, We back with Jonas and Lacey. So, I mean, Jonas is getting on, you know, her nerves. And she said he need to be thanking her ass for cheering him up all the time because they like Bert and Ernie, and they stuck to them together. So she asked about any progress, and he says, yes, they have progress, but, you know, he's not able to test it because he's not going to be using a human subject. And what that sound like? She was like, Project Noah, bitch. You ain't gonna be doing that. So he was like, it's not ready for mass production because it need to be tested. Like, I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I need for, you know, to test it. And now the dude from the, you know, Health Federation want him to get on a conference call with all these different countries, the ones who have nuclear bombs, to convince them that this antiviral is ready for mass production when it's not. She said, she quoted another scripture by Cain and Abel, and he was like, damn, girl, we get it with all the scriptures. She was like, I'm just saying, you and Fanning, y'all are tied together forever. Like brothers. Fucked up brothers, but brothers. It ain't over till it's over. The store guy and mama come over, and they haven't seen Bob. They looking for him. Amy comes down, and she like, listen, he outside, bitch. He bleeding. Okay, they like, how you know, bitch? Don't worry about it. I know. So Brad opens the door, and he see Bob out there, you know, with the blood on his neck. He bleeding. He like, oh, shit, you know, we got a situation. He tells Brad, listen, let's do this in the woods. Come shoot me in the woods. I ain't got to see all this. But by the time he turn around and walk 2 or 3 steps, he done already changed into a viral child. It takes no time for this to happen now, I guess. It don't take 2 days. The shit happen real quick now. So he turns around. He's a viral, and we don't see it's off camera. But when the door opens, we see that Brad has gotten bitten. Even though he still killed Bob, he's gotten bitten now. Now we with Jonas on a conference call, and we got all these countries, especially like China or one of the countries in Asia. I don't want to say it was China, but I believe it was China. On the phone, and they going off on him talking about false American promises. Is the thing ready for mass production? They like, yeah, it's ready. We ready to put it on out there. Yeah, we ready to ship it to everybody. It's ready. It's good. And then they say the CDC has been taken. Everybody like, what the fuck? Like Jonas was like, oh shit. Like it caught him off guard. But it seemed like Federation dude, he knew that it had been taken, but he was trying to play that shit off like he didn't want them to know that. And that's the only place that can like mass distribute vaccines. So he was like, there's nothing that you can do for me, bitch. I'm done. So he clicks off. The only person who was left was the United Kingdom lady, and she was like, listen, all the allies is turning against you, so I don't know what y'all gonna do, but good luck, bitch. Click. Apparently, a lot of people been getting killed in Nevada recently, and so, you know, people losing it in a facility where Clark is, and so the officer is telling him that, and he leaves the building. The officer is like, wait, you gonna get killed. So he goes to the bar where Shauna is and basically finds Shauna laid out on, you know, the table somewhere on the couch looking like a damsel in distress, and she hop up, and he about to kill her. She wakes up and is like, do it. You know, they go back and forth, and she tells him she didn't eat no damn body. That was Martinez. He was out there eating all them people. She haven't ate nothing since they got in an argument. And so he's basically trying to reconcile like what he has now become. Was it really worth it? And he's like, and she's like, well, is that so horrible to be with me? Like, he knows that she's a monster, but at the same time, now he connected to her, and he feel like, well, damn, you know, I do have to give her something for her saving my life, and what is it so bad for me to give into this desire? So he go ahead and give her some dick to tide her over, okay? I think he wanted to do it too, probably, but he know he got to do something, baby. You can't be out here just living, you know, for free off the viral, and, you know, not want to, you know, give her no dick. She wants some company and some attention. She is lonely, baby. So they go ahead and get to doing it. I was like, you better do it. Go ahead and get you some, Shauna, but you know, they got to be in the fantasy realm, because in the real life realm, no God, absolutely not. She like, Amy is tending to Brad. She's seeing that, you know, he all you know, cut up, and the mama and store man, they arguing back and forth about whether they're gonna shoot him or not, just kill him right now. And Brad is telling Amy, listen, sometimes the choice is the hardest choice you have to make. They're gonna have to shoot me because I'm infected. I'm gonna turn. As I've said, it takes no time for them to turn, so they gotta make the decision like right now. So Amy is watching them about to shoot him. They like 1, 2, they about to count the shit down, and we can see her start to turn into the I'ma eat your ass up viral. Okay, so like she told Fanny, she would never kill nobody, she would never do that to nobody. And he was like, okay bitch, we gonna find out. So now that the person that she loved the most is being threatened, we see that she will kill somebody. So, you know, she gonna have to reconcile that in herself, like, I am actually a monster too. Like, I am somebody who can eat a motherfucker up. So, like, you know, she probably gonna have to reconcile herself with that issue. That gotta be hard to deal with, you know. And so she eat them up, and he watching her eat them up. You can see the look on his face while she eating their ass up for lunch, okay? She narrates a little bit after this. We can see her giving him Nicole's antivirus. So now he has an antiviral inside of him too. And she runs away after that. She leaves him a note. She puts it in her book. She says that she regrets running away. She's narrating again. She regret running away and not telling him thank you because he taught her everything that she knew. And, you know, he taught her this, he taught her that. And then we see a time, oh, as she's leaving, we can see some bombs, some flashes in the sky. Turns out those are nuclear bombs. So they're bombing, you know, these big cities. So we see all these cities have been nuclear bombed. And now we're in a nuclear winter. It's, you know, 97 years later, we time jumped. And first of all, they must have not bombed the African braiding shop because their braids was on fleek. Or that wig was laid, honey. But that was definitely a wig, y'all. It was definitely a wig because them baby hairs... them baby hairs was laid for the guys. I was like, y'all got eco-stylogy in the nuclear winter? Come on, African braiding shop, you did that. Braiding, I saw the man said on AfterBuzz, braiding supposed to represent like strength and patience. So maybe that's why, you know, maybe she did it. But we see her looking like a young warrior. Okay, she out here walking the streets of the nuclear winter. She in the Palm Desert, baby. And she walking, and she sees some random virals eating like a horse head or some type of animal head, and they runs away except for one, and she's just standing there with her bow and arrow. He come at her, and she shoot him in the head like it's nothing. And she like, you know, she's narrating about she searched for him everywhere. She feel like he's still alive because she would have felt it if, you know, he was dead. I'm assuming she talking about Brad. She has been alone for so many years. She can't even feel him anymore for like many years, but she knows she like I said, she would have known if he was dead. So she's looking for some place. She says she's looking for this place where people have found where they can stay alive. And maybe when she finds that place, she'll be home. And we see this big like structure that she's kind of walking up to. It's kind of like in a silhouette. I have not read the books, but I do know that it is called The Colony. My guess is it's like going to be like a whole, you know, churn. If they come back for the second season, it gives them a chance to maybe rebrand the show a little bit, to repilot, because it'll be like a totally new show if it comes back. We're 100 years into the future. I know in the book that, you know, Brad and all those people go away very quickly in the book, but they left them in for a little bit longer, and, you know, possibly a return for Brad, you know, next season or at some point during the show. But I'm not sure if it's gonna get renewed, y'all. I don't know. You might just have to read the book to, you know, get your rest of your status, you know, satisfy your taste for this whole thing. But I hope it gets renewed for a season 2 because it was a good show and it had a solid audience. I think it was 3.1 million people watching it, which is a pretty good audience for a Monday night show. So I thought it was good. I want to hear what your thoughts are about the show. I know this is kind of late, but it's spring break, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been breaking. I've been laying on my ass. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been chilling. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and make this video. It's like 2:30 in the morning right now. So, yeah, I'm about to go ahead and lay it down, I guess. I'm about to lay it down. So I want to hear your thoughts about this whole season. If you've read the book, what do you think about it in comparison to the book? Please let me know. It's even worth it for me to read the book now that I've seen this. I know the book is a little bit different. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share my video with all your friends. If you want to follow me on social media, you absolutely can at WhoIsAprilDawn on Twitter, on Snapchat, and on Instagram. Okay, so I'll holler at y'all next season. I think I'm going to pick up a new show because all my shows are going off. Black Lightning going off next week. So I won't be able to see you guys anymore. Yeah, I won't see you guys anymore for a while for any show. So I'm going to try to pick up something in the meantime. Maybe some little trash TV show, you know, some little trash we could talk about and giggle with, okay? So, all right, I'll holler at y'all next time. All right, peace.